50 points on the Sensex, Anuj, 330 points in the Nifty. This is the third such Friday in a row.
This is how capitulation looks like. That's the one point you were making in the morning, that final capitulation phase is when stocks like Reliance start to fall, like the way they are falling. Bajaj Finance is down 10% now. Of course, at 3 months back, if you would have asked, is Bajaj Finance goodbye at 1965, you would have taken it with both hands, right? People would have sold off their assets to buy Bajaj Finance. But, in the near term, the market is about sentiment. That sentiment has turned, and how. I think this is now the phase where the haloed stocks are falling. I think this process is very painful, but it's right now the process which is going to lead to the market forming perhaps a durable bottom. We'll need to see though at what point does it bottom out. That absolute bottom, like Ashwin is saying, could it be 10,000, could it be 9,800? We don't know. But the way HDFC has fallen, the way Bajaj Finance has fallen, Maruti, Reliance, I think now there's no hiding place. Till 3 months back, you were talking about hiding place. I think for the last 2 weeks, there's been no hiding place. And right now, if you look at any mutual fund portfolio, any PMS portfolio, I think you will see that's how things have been. But anyway, let's just recap the day, and we'll take final thoughts from Deepan and Sudarshan before we toss it back to Lata. Reliance was down 6.5%, Bajaj Finance 10%. I'm not even talking about OMCs, which were the top losers, because they were gone yesterday and today. Of course, 25% gone on HPCL again today, BPCL 20%. But the big stocks, Reliance, Bajaj Finance, Maruti Suzuki, HDFC, Yes Bank, these were some of the names. ICICI Bank 4% down across the board. On the way up, Infosys and TCS, because the currency made that big move once again.
On the mid-cap side of the market, Anuj, all I can say is that it's a 500-point drop on the index, mid-cap index. Let's just quickly give you some rates. It'll give you a sample of the NBFC mayhem. I mean, Bajaj Finance has fallen so much on the index, so some of the others like DHFL obviously have been hit hard as well, 9% down there, M&M Financial, L&T Finance, Shriram Transport. So between 5, 10, 12%. That's the NBFC story for you for the day. Beyond that, we've seen big stocks, Edelweiss, Ashok Leyland, Jet Airways, BEML. They're selling across the board, Dish TV, CG Power. Even IT names, by the way, even large cap IT started cooling off. TCS and Infosys have closed off the highest point of the day, despite the massive rupee move. KPIT Tech is down about 5%. So it seems there's some caution and profit taking even around IT, escorts, plenty of names on the downside. On the upside, I don't have too many names really to speak of today. Just the odd Jubilant, maybe some buying on Dabur. But aside of that, I think this market is feeling increasingly nervous, I guess we'd have to say that, Anuj.
Oh, yes, it is. Let's take final thoughts from Sudarshan and Deepan as well. Deepan, capitulation right now, are you buying anything with a view that you'll have to see mark-to-market losses?
No, really, I think we are stunned over here with the way the market has moved. I think it's more to do with the way the rupee has fallen, and I think we are seeing massive FI selling at a scale we have not seen in the recent past, and somewhat similar to what we saw when there was a global financial crisis. So I think the FI numbers today will be quite interesting, and clearly I think market doesn't like surprises, and this particular policy was a surprise. It in fact brings in more uncertainty into all the markets, the debt market, currency market and the stock market, and markets hate uncertainty, and anyway the sentiment was quite weak, and just one more reason was given for this sell-off. So one has to just kind of wait and see. I think it's not right to get brave and start buying at these levels. That needs to be put off for another day at best. We first need to bring stability in currency and debt market before we see stability coming into the equity markets.
Speaking of FIs, Anuj, I'm just reminded of your morning chat, and you used a nice term saying FIs are going all in. The way they were selling in the futures and options market, and for now, I guess that all-in bet, that gamble is really paying off.
Yes, and the market's message has been very clear for last 2 months now, Surabhi, that there's something called shorting the market, and you can make money via that. You may have your portfolio, you may not want to touch it, you can hedge it. And you can, if the market's message is that, it wants to correct and it wants to correct brutally, you can short the market and make money. There's absolutely nothing that stops you from doing that. It's, of course, tough. Not everyone can do that. But, the data was quite interesting. It was telling you that, it's that all-in bet. You do all-in when you have the best game. And you can't lose.
You have the strongest hand.
You have the strongest hand. and no one can beat you. In poker, of course, you can have a good hand, but someone else can have a better hand. And then there's something called the nuts hand. You're the best hand. You believe that you're the best hand, and you want to just play along, and you're playing.
Well, destiny is favoring them for now. Final thoughts before we go back to Lata, who's waiting. Sudarshan, very quickly, just the index levels. Any advice for Monday?
I'm sorry, you're asking me?
Yes, Sudarshan. Advice for Monday.
Okay, all right. See, this market is at the verge of making a bottom. We never can call a bottom to the exact precision, but we are almost there. And this is not, the Nifty is not going to 0, it's not going to 8,000, it's not going to any absurd level. This is the time for to prepare a shopping list for Monday. First, your investments in Reliance, TCS, Infosys, Hinlever, wherever you missed out, this is a golden opportunity. And then your trades, which should now primarily be geared to the long side. That's Monday for you. Think this is only a correction in an ongoing bull market. Corrections always look like this.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much, Sudarshan and Dipan, for being with us. With that, let's go back to our analysis and the coverage of the monetary policy, which has been quite a shocker for the markets. Let's go back to Lata.